No, let's avoid copyright. Cast your mind back to 1996. Turn on any radio, any television, walk into any store, and you would hear it. That iconic Spanish-style guitar intro, followed by a voice filled with a unique and unforgettable pain. The song was Don't Speak, and the band was No Doubt. It was a global phenomenon, a #1 hit in over a dozen countries, played so relentlessly that it became woven into the very fabric of the decade. On the surface, it was the ultimate success story. A quirky ska band from Anaheim, California, finally hitting the big time. Their frontwoman, Gwen Stefani, became an overnight icon of cool, a confident, platinum blonde force of nature who seemed to have it all. But what the world didn't know, what was hidden behind the catchy melody and the glamorous music videos, was that the song wasn't just a hit. It was an open wound. Everyone sang Don't Speak. Nobody knew it was Gwen Stefani's secret cry for help. This is the untold story of the masterpiece born from a secret so painful it nearly destroyed the band and its lead singer from the inside out.
I think now, because everyone's excited about the future, the Coachella, the No Doubt reunion, and do you think when you hear these songs, which I know you haven't started practicing yet, but when you hear the songs, do you think they still speak to you, or do you feel like I'm not that Gwen Stefani anymore?
No, I can't listen to a lot of songs because they speak so clearly to me. And it's like, you know, you have regrets, you have mistakes you've made, and most of the songs are about that. So, you know, you just go, like, there's certain, like, if I do Ex-Girlfriend.
To understand the tragedy, you first have to understand the fairy tale. Long before the sold-out stadiums and the platinum albums, No Doubt was just a group of kids in a garage in Anaheim. At the heart of this group was a love story. A young, wide-eyed Gwen Stefani fell completely and hopelessly in love with the band's charismatic and talented bassist, Tony Kanay. For 7 years, they were inseparable. He was her first real love, her world. She would later say in interviews, "All I ever did was look at Tony and pray that God would let me have a baby with him." Their romance was the sun around which the entire band orbited. They were a team, a couple, writing songs and dreaming of a future that seemed boundless. For Gwen, the goal wasn't fame or fortune. It was a life with Tony. The band was just the beautiful soundtrack to their love story. But in the world of fairy tales, there is always a turning point. And for Gwen, that moment was a brutal and sudden end to everything she had ever known.
Shit, bands that broke up but did better solo.
After 7 years, just as the band was on the cusp of getting everything they had ever worked for, Tony Kanal ended the relationship. For Gwen, it wasn't just a breakup, it was a cataclysmic event that shattered her identity. The man she believed she would marry, the man she had built her entire world around, was gone. But here is where the secret truly begins. Because Gwen wasn't just a heartbroken girl, she was the lead singer of a band. And the man who had just ripped her heart out was the bassist who would be standing a few feet away from her at practice the very next day. This began a period of what she could only describe as pure torture. Every rehearsal, every writing session, every moment in the studio was a brutal reminder of what she had lost. The band, her sanctuary, had become her personal hell. She had to try and create, to sing, to function, while the source of her agony stood right there, looking back at her. The band members later recalled the tension being so thick it nearly suffocated them. The dream was on the verge of collapsing into a nightmare.
She was talking about her past relationship or relationships, and now we've kind of twisted the concept a little bit for this video.
When you're in a band, you always are challenged with problems, right? And then you solve some of them, and then you get handed new ones. So we've had some new ones, and we're trying to cope with them. And we thought that making a video about our band breaking up would be the saddest thing we could make a video about, and we want to make people cry. So we already had our happy video, so now we want to make a really sad one. So I think Don't Speak is just a sad song. Sad.
Okay, well, the band's been together for about 5 years, and about 5 years ago, a guy that used to sing with us, which doesn't anymore, he used to say this word.
No doubt.
Right, and so now that's the word we use.
That's cool.
It's a really simple story. It's not really complex at all.
Now, there's a lot of you here. How many are in the band?
8 of us.
How many?
8 of us.
8 of you. And
it was in this crucible of pain that the songs for their new album, Tragic Kingdom, began to form. And at the heart of it was one song in particular. Don't Speak had originally been written as a happy love song by Gwen and her brother Eric, but after the breakup, Gwen rewrote every single word, transforming it into a raw, desperate plea to the man who no longer loved her.
I was in a band with my brother. We were in the band for 9 years, and then as soon as the first record, The Tragic Kingdom, came out, he basically was like, oh my gosh, that's so nice!
Fans everywhere.
Didn't like that one.
He didn't want to do all the traveling and all that, so he went on to be like an animator for The Simpsons and did all this other. He's an artist.
Oh, wow.
We were just doing it for like, you know, procrastination from going to school and like having a job. Like we just did it for fun. You know, I'd be like, Dad, can I have $5? I'm gonna go rent a mic at the like studio and like try to practice. He'd be like, $5, you know what I mean? And yeah, that's the good old days. I mean, sometimes I always say like, and you know, which one was better, the first 9 years or like after you get famous, because it was so great. Like there was, you know, Del Taco and finding like dimes at the bottom of the car to like try to get something to eat after rehearsals. And it was the good old days, you know?
The lyrics we all know. I really feel that I'm losing my best friend. Don't tell me 'cause it hurts. Were written in real time, chronicling her suffering. Imagine the strength it took to write down your deepest pain and then have to present it to your band, including the very person it was about. But the agony didn't stop there. As the band began to play small shows, Gwen had to get on stage night after night, look out into the crowd, and sing these intensely personal songs of heartbreak, all while standing side by side with her ex-boyfriend. It was a cry for help, performed under stage lights, hidden in plain sight.
And I remember calling him going, listen to this one, and like on the phone and reading it to him, and it was like really mean about him, you know, like horribly mean, but he was like, actually, like that's really good, you know?
And it's because she put herself out there and people could relate to it on some level.
So you had to relive this thing over and
We
over
were
again.
opening this wound next to each other constantly.
How do you deal with that?
You would go back to the room so emotionally, physically, spiritually, like everything was drained. It was brutal.
He said, what should I do? Should I leave the band? Right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, no.
The band somehow survived the tension. They finished the album. Tragic Kingdom was released, filled with the raw, authentic emotion of Gwen's shattered heart. And then the impossible happened. The album became a sensation. The world connected with the genuine pain in Gwen's voice. And Don't Speak, the song born from her most private agony, became an unstoppable force. It resonated with millions of people who had also experienced heartbreak, becoming a universal anthem for anyone who had ever lost love. This is the profound and tragic irony at the heart of Gwen Stefani's story. The secret pain that almost ended her career became the very thing that launched her into superstardom. The agonizing breakup she was forced to endure in silence gave her a voice that was heard around the globe. Her secret cry for help wasn't just heard, it was sung back to her by millions. Her heart was broken, but from those pieces, an icon was forged. She turned her deepest wound into a work of art, a masterpiece of survival that defined a generation and set the stage for the resilient, powerful woman she would become. The story of Don't Speak is a powerful reminder that sometimes our greatest triumphs are born from our most tragic secrets.
How did you get the record? How did you get signed?
Well, we were playing a lot of shows in LA, you know, for a long time, and there was no industry interest at all. And then finally they got a clue, and then they signed us. Interscope signed us, but we went with Interscope because they're really hands-off. They're going to let us do anything we want to do creatively and let us evolve